I've been on North Clinton over 20-something years. The last 4 has been the worst for me. And I try to relate to them because I see today, I'm a recovering addict. So we have to have choices to do something different. So if you don't have a choice to do anything different, you ain't gonna do nothing different. If you have people feeding you, giving you options, why would you change? I was getting to a point where I probably should have went and got in a tent where I don't have to pay taxes. You know what I mean? But that's not where I live. I have a lot of properties in the city of Rochester. So I'm invested in this city. You know what I mean? So it's about doing something for the people that lives there that want to see better. I have a lady that lives across the street that I do for because she got custody of her grandkids. Her daughter was murdered a couple years ago. You know what I mean? And she had 4 girls. You know what I mean? So my thing was when people was living on Morrell Street, I didn't know who the rapist was. You know what I mean? So things like that is what I worry about for my community. You know what I mean? I want everyone to be safe. When I come out my house, I shouldn't have to walk my daughter to her car. I shouldn't have to walk my wife to her car. You know what I mean? They should be able to leave that home feeling safe. But anytime they leave out, I'm leaving out with them because I got to make sure they get in that car safe. What I see, I see people shooting dope. I see people defecating outside. Anytime I see something, I address it. Because if I come out of my house and see something that's not right, I go tell them to move, take it somewhere else. And some of them do it, then you got a lot of people that talk smack, and I'm not good with that. If I ask you to do something that's disturbing my peace, just move.
Believe the police are doing enough?
Yes, I do. But I got to a point where I know that it takes time. Because I've been complaining about Morrell Street when it started. But I learned to have patience as I got older. You know what I mean? And let the city police do what the city police to do. 30, 40 years ago, I probably would have did it myself. But as you get older, you get wiser. You know what I mean? So sometimes, you know, things might take longer than what we want. But long as they get addressed, I'm good with it.
The police does their job, obviously, but it takes more than that. You know, we also, as residents, have to sit with the people that are serving the users and bringing the tents and, you know, supplying the things that they need to stay there. You know, my neighbor and I, we were just talking about this the other day. North Clinton Avenue has become a dump ground. Like, this is where they dump everybody, right? You want to use drugs? Here, go there. You want to sell drugs? Here, go there. You want to take over an empty lot? Here, go there. And we need to stop that. But it's beyond the police. It's beyond the city. It's everybody has to sit together and really discuss this and really take, you know, into consideration what this makes, how this makes us feel as residents. You know, I inherited my parents' house. They lived there for over 35 years. When I moved in there in 2013, you know, things got a little better. Now they're back to worse again. And we've known, you know, we've known for a while. We had a detail once done in 2017 where it told us that people were coming as far as Niagara Falls to come buy drugs here in the city. In fact, my street ended up getting speed bumps because people would come from 104 and 509 and they would drive fast down my street because it goes from Clinton to St. Paul. So we know that this has been happening, you know, but again, it takes everybody, not just the police, not just the city. It takes code enforcers. It takes the people that are providing services to these folks. You know, it takes the court to really put people in jail and keep them there. Like, it takes a lot of different systems for us to be able to make it better for everyone.
Ida, what kept you up at night, or how did you fall asleep at night?
So I think for a long time what kept me up at night was the fact that I could not bring my grandkids to my house and allow them to play freely in my street, to be able to enjoy the leaves if it was fall, the snow if it was winter, and the grass if it was summer, because we never knew where we would find a needle. So those are the type of things that would keep me up at night. What keeps me up at night now is the filth, how dirty our neighborhood is because of people having these encampment, you know, because again, they want to be close to their drugs. And I think what bothers me the most is one of the things that the mayor said, these people are not from here. They're not, I know when I walk down the street, these are not people that I know. These are people that are coming from elsewhere. We just did a walk on Saturday. We had a girl, somebody identify a girl from Pittsford. Like, what is she doing here? Like, these family members need to come to Clinton Avenue and pick up their kids and take them home. That's what they need to do. Obviously, we don't want open air drug markets, but as long as those people keep coming, it's one person, I think it was one officer explained it one time, you have the brain and you have the vessels, right? As long as those vessels keep coming, that brain will keep functioning. And that's how the drug dealers are. As long as people come to buy, they're gonna keep selling. But if we get rid of some of those people, their business is gonna go down, and they may end up moving somewhere else, but they won't be there anymore. And as long as people are coming to buy, the drug dealers are gonna continue to be there.
I can say I've been in Rochester 20 years. I moved here from Miami. I've been on Clinton Avenue for 20 years. Worked, I've coached kids, I've raised my kids, and now I'm raising my grandkids. And like Edith said, it is the most difficult when I can't even just take my kids outside, not only for the needles, but in my neighborhood, I have to tell them, the drug addicts, to leave because my kids can see you out of upper window. And they not only see them use drugs, sex, and all kinds of things. 3 nights ago, 4 o'clock in the morning, I caught an addict in my backyard. What he was doing there, he just told me he blacked out. But my kids and my grandkids sleep there. So, and this happens daily. The thing that really makes us more upset is these addicts are not from here, but the people that are keeping them there are not also from there. There are organizations that comes on once a week. And that once a week, if you go into my church at 8 o'clock in the morning, people are coming into my church and seeing addicts lined up waiting for these people. But these people can only come once a week and enable. They don't help, they enable. Because we've caught people shooting up on people's cars while they're in church. I have to ask them, you think God sees you? If they don't care about God seeing them, the police don't scare them either. Yeah. So I like the coalition that we're finally getting together, because it is finally coming together to the point where I have hope that my kids and my kids' kids will have a clean and safe place to play. Thank you.
Thank you. We have multiple buildings that we operate. In the corridor, I think, I want to just thank the mayor for expressing our sense of urgency and our desire for change. We don't want anything that we're saying to be taken like we're against homelessness, or we don't feel that people deserve the treatment or the services that they need to improve their lives. But what we really want to uplift, and what's important for me at Ibero, because we don't service homeless population, is that the voices of the residents are uplifted. I think we do our walks every Saturday for a couple of hours, and there's nothing more hopeless than to watch people treat the place that you live, the place that you raise your children, as a garbage can. And that, to me, I think is the saddest thing. So we're here to support all of the neighbors to make sure that our power and influence is used to uplift their voices and support our government partners to make sure that these things are addressed. But once again, this is not about whether we think homeless individuals need access to housing. This is not about access to drug treatment. We want all of those things. We want that very deeply for people. But what we don't want is for people who do not live in the city to continuously come to the city and treat it as a dumping ground. I often think, what would happen if we would grab tents and go camp out in front of these people's houses? How long would they let us stay there? I have to say that what I remind people all the time is, imagine you being a 9-year-old and you live on Ketchum and you have to make your way to school number 9. All of the things that child will experience. They will see someone go to the bathroom outside. They will see someone inject themselves. They will see open air drug markets, and they will see needles literally poked into trees. And I don't think any child deserves that, regardless of their income. So thank you for making this a priority.
And this past January, there were several fires on Oscar Street on a vacant house. These were houses that just a year ago were occupied by families. They had been run down as a result of lack of upkeep by the owners. There were rental properties, but these certainly had the potential to be renovated, improved, properly managed, and be nice homes for families. They became vacant, and in quick order, the drug users took over these properties, destroyed them. I actually went through and looked in some of the through the open doors and windows, just totally littered with needles and all kinds of nasty debris. These folk had no hesitancy to do all kinds of foul things in these properties, and then set them on fire. So now there are 2 vacant lots where there are 2 homes where families could have enjoyed city living and raised their children, and now they're empty lots. And as the mayor mentioned, those fires also put at risk other properties that were adjacent to those vacant lots. It's really sad thing to say. You know, again, living on that street for 40 years to see that happen so quickly. And I put 100 million% blame on these drug addicts who are living in tents on an adjacent vacant lot to those properties. As soon as those properties became vacant, they went in those properties, destroyed them, and burned them down. It's a shame.
They're not resources, they're enablements. They're not helping them. They're just giving them everything to continue to live as an addict. You're not giving them hope. You're not uplifting them. You're not giving them any reason to want to stop. The reason why I stopped drugs, and they're going to stay there where the drugs are at. We know for a fact if you take away the customers, the drug dealers will go away. Look at Conkey and Avenue A. 6, 7 years ago, there was a guy, I knew all of them personally. Now they're doing Instacart and they're doing DoorDash because they have no more customers. We just want to live like everybody else. I want to be able to walk, be able to have my garbage outside, that it's not spilled next to the vacant lot next to me, that I can go clean up again. I just want to be able to go to church and be able to praise my God without somebody coming in and have to worry about them going in our bathrooms and overdosing. I want to be able to raise my kids, but I know CPR and I know how to do Narcan. But how traumatizing to know that my granddaughter has seen me do it 4 times next to my house. My daughter, who's a nurse, helped me with one. We had to do a CPR until RPD got there. That is traumatizing to a child. That's all I have to say. Thank you.